All right, Coach. A tough one last week. Defensively, though, a very good football game was played at Vigilante, even though the Bruins came up on the short end. But give me your takeaway from Crosstown.
Well, Helena High came out and they played a pretty darn good game. I don't think we did a very good job blocking up front. We kind of struggled with Swirl there a little bit. He's a good football player. Defensively, we gave up 2 4th and 20s, which you can't do. So you take away those big plays, it's a little bit of a different ball game. But, I kind of hope that I hope we have a good week of practice this week and go down to Great Falls and give them a game.
What did Helena High do so well to take you guys out of your game plan defensively?
I think the biggest part of it was that I think the difference was on the defensive front. Those kids are big. They're physical. Swirl, he's quite a player. I think he had probably 4 or 5 sacks. He had a strip sack. Caused a turnover, obviously. Picked it up and ran it. I think the physicality of the front was more than we could handle.
Are there positives for the Bruins?
Yeah, there's positives. The sun came up on Saturday, and we've had a good Sunday breakdown film talking about Helena High, talking about putting that kind of to bed. We put that to bed on Monday at noon, and we had a good day of preparation as far as getting ready for CMR, and I think we got a good plan going into CMR.
Talking with Kyle Mihelish, the Capital football coach. CMR back, it seems, and two traditional powerhouses meeting in the first round of the AA playoffs. Historically, this is a great matchup. Capital High, CMR. Like I said, 2 of the more traditional powers in the AA. It's kind of a cool meeting.
No, it's a long storied tradition between Capital and CMR. All the way back to the great Jack Johnson and Jim Tuss, and a lot of battles were fought, whether it be at Helena Capital or CMR and Memorial Stadium. There, a lot of big playoff games, a lot of big championship games. I kind of thought about that on Sunday, and I know growing up, our biggest rival was probably CMR, and it's a great place to play. I think it's one of the greatest settings as far as high school football. With the old Memorial Stadium there, and you got Great Falls High in the background. And they did it right. They take care of their stuff, and it'll looking forward to the game.
Yeah, it should be a fun one for sure, as we talked to Kyle Mihelish, the Capital High football coach. All right, traditions aside, 2 completely different teams here. What do you expect out of CMR? Because they are back. They are playing better football for the last 6 years.
They're a physical team. They're big up front. They're 260, 270 on the offensive line. They have, I think they only have 1 kid going 2 ways. So they have some guys that'll be fresh. A new bro kid. He plays some receiver and he plays some safety. So he's kind of the only kid that we noticed that's going 2 ways. They run a lot of what we call fly motion. They're trying to kind of window dress everything and kind of create some confusion for the defense in order to just run their power play and run their guard G, run their counter stuff. So they do a lot of motion, a lot of hurry up. You can see on film, we weren't quite sure what the tempo was of their offense, but you can see the chain gang, when they get a first down, Russell's already up and ready to go. And the chains haven't even been set yet. They're snapping the first down. So it's fast. It's up tempo. We're trying to simulate that in practice. But it's hard to. We have 2 different groups. We got one group come out, and then we'll have another group come out. So we'll do the best we can to prepare for that. So defensively, they play a very similar defense to Helena High. They have 2 ends inside of the tackles, what we call a 4-eye technique, and they'll roll their outside linebackers outside of the tackles. So essentially it looks like a 5-2 front, and they're physical up front. And, it's going to be, it's going to be a good challenge for us. It's going to be a challenge for our kids, see if they can respond from kind of a tough 2-week period here.
You've seen some really good quarterbacks this year on the opposing sideline, and a Zach Cruz, a Caden Hewitt, obviously Isaiah Clonch. Where does Cole Taylor fit into that?
He's a good-sized kid. I think he's 6'3", 205. He throws the ball well downfield. I would say he's probably not as agile as those other guys. I mean, like an open space, but when he keeps the ball on some of their zone read scheme stuff, he can get out on the perimeter and he can get out. He's not afraid to lower his head and come after you. He'll be another test. He's a good quarterback.
You got yourself a good quarterback, and like you said, the last couple of weeks have not been a good one for the offense, but how do you turn that around, and what do you say to that offense going into Friday?
Well, we got to be able to, stay ahead of the chains. We can't make mistakes. We can't turn the ball over. I guess easier said than done, but, they got, last night was extremely focused. I thought offensively and defensively we had good practices. And the urgency of it all we talked about as well. I mean, these seniors, if you lose Friday night, this is the end of your football career. Right. Not everybody gets an opportunity to go off and play college football. So you may be down to 5 days of practice or 4 days of practice and then a game. So I think the kids understand the urgency of the situation we're in. I mean, and we talked about, hey, it's a new season. We made the playoffs. Everybody's 0-0, and we got a chance Friday night to play another football game. You
do, and you've had some success on the road this year, so that's not a big deal. You've been to Memorial Stadium. It's not a big deal. It's beautiful, like you said. Can you do me a favor, though, and keep winning? Because I enjoy our Tuesday conversations.
We're going to give it a heck of a shot.
Hey, good luck, Coach, and get her done Friday afternoon. We'll talk next week.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it, Jason.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Fall is officially here, and now's the perfect time to get your rig tuned up before the big hunt. That means a lift kit from Auto Concepts. An Auto Concepts lift kit will help take you places only the animals can go. And when you do get that big one, make sure you have help to get it home with a winch to pull it out. Or maybe you'll be a good friend and help pull someone out of the snowbank. Check out AutoConceptsHelena.com for more ideas. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
2, 1. All right, Michaela, I appreciate you joining me. It's been a year since your accident. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm working really hard to get back to where I was, and it's just I'm taking it day by day and all the obstacles and just working hard. Take me through the accident. What do you remember from a year ago? If you're okay bringing it up. I mean, that's... Yeah, I'm totally okay bringing it up. I don't remember Friday, October 23rd of last year. So what I do know is more secondhand and from stories that I was told. And that I went and I attended a class that morning. And my husband, Sam, and I had signed a contract to buy and purchase a condo that we've been renting like the past 3 years. I loaded my puppy, he was a Samoyed, his name was Samson, into my Volkswagen Bug, and we were headed up to Big Fork. My husband, Sam, he stayed in Helena because he had work, so he couldn't take the days off since I was leaving on a Friday. I know that I stopped by my grandpa's cabin in Helmville, and I got to see, like, my uncle was there, my cousin, my grandpa, and they were just getting ready to go hunting. And then about, like, 20 minutes after leaving my grandpa's on Highway 200, that's where my accident happened around 3 o'clock. At first, they didn't know that anyone was in my car. And because I've met some of the people who were first on scene and one of the firefighters, and they said that they didn't want to look because they didn't think that if someone was in the car that they survived. They figured out that I was in the car, how one of them walked past it when they called 911. My puppy, he did pass away in the car accident, but I was wedged like underneath my steering wheel. I was conscious the whole time. I had a trachycardic, and I was in shock. They couldn't get me out of my car, so they had to cut off my door, and my right leg had a compound fracture, and it was stuck. And they said that they had a hard time getting it out. I had a diffuse axonal brain injury from my accident. My brain was bleeding. I had a left orbital facial fracture. I broke a rib, or a few ribs, a T1 vertebrae. I punctured my lung. I had a lacerated liver. My right leg had a grade 3 tibia and fibia compound fracture and a grade 3 patella fracture. My left leg had a grade 3 open proximal tibial avulsion fracture of the medial tibia plate. And my left knee had an open traumatic, it's a medical word, but
right.
Like arthrotomy, I think. That's like my best ball part, how you say that word. With an open partial patella tear, tendon, traumatic laceration. And I know that, like, I had a guardian angel over me that day because the first few people who happened on scene were first responders, and they knew how to help me. And it took 40 minutes for police, firefighters, and emergency people to arrive on scene. And that was just due to like the horrible road conditions of that day. And like, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those first people on like scene showing like their bravery, their kindness, their compassion. Like, it was just a group of strangers who went through extraordinary efforts to save my life. And I wouldn't be here today without them.
Yeah, no, we thank them for sure. You ended up in your hometown or home state, really, of Utah for recovery, right? I mean, right after. How long after the wreck did you before you went to Utah?
I was at St. Pete's for 8 days.
Okay.
And then on Halloween is when they had moved me to Utah, and that was for my brain injury. They had moved me there for my brain injury, and at first they wanted to send me to Spokane, but they also, because Missoula wasn't allowing visitors, so I didn't have any visitors, and Spokane was the same way, and my family, both my parents, they live in Utah, so they were like, send her to Utah, she can at least have one visitor a day, and I know my mom got on the phone with anyone who would listen, and begged and pleaded, and then they finally had decided to send me to Utah.
Which I'm sure for the family was huge. As we talked to Michaela Boyette-Fetzer, we did talk to your husband Sam shortly after your accident. How's he doing with everything?
He's doing really good. He's trying to stay positive throughout the whole thing and all the obstacles I've faced, and he's just looking at the bright side of it all and keeping me positive throughout everything. And he helped me a lot. Like, when I first got home and was out of the hospital, I couldn't really like shower without help. I couldn't comb my own hair. There's a lot of things like eating, and I wouldn't remember to eat at times. I needed help with a lot. And he was very good, and he helped me with everything.
With your brain injury, and I talked to Aaron Jackson, your former softball coach, and Coach Sarah Burnell as well. You had a lot of problems remembering things, and you basically, from what I understand, and maybe you can correct me, but you had to relearn how to do a lot of things. Is that right?
Yeah. So I know when like things that I took for granted, a lot of stuff that I took for granted, like walking. Took that for granted, running, jogging. I didn't know how to do any of that. And I had to relearn all of that. And at first, it was with limp, like where I'd walk with a limp. And I know back in June was like the first time I had like ran or like jogged for like 30 seconds, and I had no pain. And to me, that was a huge accomplishment, and it was amazing. And I celebrated. But I knew that like 30 seconds wasn't everything. And so that I could put in more work and work harder to get more than 30 seconds and get longer and back to where I was.
Well, I mean, it's going to take a long time to get back to everything. But how do you, in a percentage-wise, Michaela, right now, where are you at compared to where you were a year ago before the accident?
That's a hard question because there's things that will never be the same. Mm-hmm. In regards of my memory, it's day to day. So some days I remember more things than other days. And some days I have to have alarms to remember to take, because I'm still on some medications. So I have to have alarms to remember to take my medications or to like eat that day. And I know that for me, I wish that might never get better, and I wish that would get better. And I know in everyday life, I'm trying to get better. I'm probably, I'm going to say like a 65%. Like, okay. It's hard because I was really, really low for a while. But right. Where I was before, in regards of memory, I wish I was better. I'm 65, maybe 75%. In regards to sports, I feel like I could be faster, stronger, and better, but I've only been cleared to play for I got cleared in August to go back to playing. So
wow.
I that one, it's hard to put a percentage on.
No, I understand that. How many surgeries have you gone through so far, and how are you going to have any more?
So I've had 6 surgeries. So I had a surgery on my right leg, which was my first one, and they repaired my torn tendon so that I could walk again and my leg would bend. They waited 2 days later, so on like that Sunday is when I had my neck surgery on my right leg because I had my brain bleed and they didn't know if I would need brain surgery. And then I know I've had 3 because back in January when I had finally made it back to school, I had like 3 more surgeries because my right leg decided to get infected. So I had 3 last, like during school.
Okay.
So I've had a total of 6.
Just the fact that 2 months after, Michaela, you were back at school. I mean, that shows a lot of, intestinal fortitude, a lot of faith, a lot of just hard work for you to get back there. What was that like when you first, did you do online or did you actually go back to Carroll?
So it was kind of a mix of both.
Okay.
My doctors, they told me they basically were like, you might not ever play college softball again. You might want to go to a different college. You might never return to school. And even right before me going back to school, they're like, oh, if you go back, you should only take 1 class. That will be more than enough. And that's going to be too hard for you probably. And I had begged and pleaded and finally got them to be like, you can take 12 credits. And it was more that I was like, I want to keep my scholarship and my NAI eligibility for softball. And so I was like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna go full time. And so I had registered, and I think all of those were like, I had 2 online and like 2 in person at that time. And then my classes started, and I had, I think, gone to my classes in person. Then my leg ended up getting infected, and after starting class, I think the next week, like the second week of class, I had to go back to Utah to have my first surgery. My 4th, technically. But I was able to go back and have that surgery, and then it ended up my leg got infected, and they put me on super high antibiotics, and I had to not be around people or limit who I was around. So I had to, at that point, take all my classes online until I was off of the antibiotics. So it's kind of a mix of both, of in person and online. And I know, thanks to my mom, when like the doctors would tell me that I would never play college softball again, or I shouldn't go to school, or that I should switch colleges, my mom was like, no one can tell me that I can't go play college softball again, or that I won't return to school, because the human will is a powerful thing and miracles happen every day. And that they were about to witness one, and I was about to be a miracle, and they could either be part of the miracle or they could just step away, and we'll find someone who is willing to.
Wow. That's awesome. Your mom sounds like an amazing lady. And your dad had been through a pretty traumatic car accident a few years before yours too. How's he doing? And how did relying on what you learned with his comeback did you put into yours?
I know with his, he received also a diffuse axonal brain injury, but it was in a different portion of his brain. And he's now permanently handicapped, and he always has this mentality that even if he can't do something, when you ask him to do something, or even if you're like, you might not be able to do that, he's like, no, I can do this. I'm going to do it. And for me, I kind of carry that with me of his, like, even if you're like, you might not be able to do that, well, I'm going to do it, and I can do it. The whole, like, I can mentality that he has.
That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. As we talk to Michaela Boyette-Fetzer here, Jason Walker Show. You mentioned going back to school. You mentioned playing softball. How has Carroll College been as a whole, just working with you over the last year to get you back to where you want to be?
They've been extremely supportive on this whole journey. Like Coach Aaron, Sarah, Coach John, Allison, all of them were so supportive. Other college coaches at Carroll and teams were supportive. My own team was super supportive. I had teachers who were super helpful. I had like some of my friends from one of my classes. They created a fundraiser and made shirts. And the ASCC was also super supportive, and they reached out to me along the way. It was more like, I feel that Carroll was there the whole time. And I don't know how I would have been able to get to where I am today if I went to a bigger school, because everyone was interested in how I was doing and following me along my recovery and pushing me and helping me. And a lot of them, like, I would write papers, and I was really bad at writing papers when I first got released in last semester, and I would give them to other students, and they would help me and correct them and make changes to make them sound good. And it took a whole community to get me to where I am.
That's just awesome. How far do you still have to go before you can get back onto that field?
Ooh, so I got cleared to like play. So I was able to do our fall game. We had a few fall games in October, and I was able to play in those. I got cleared in August, but I have a long road. And how I think of it is I have 4 more months before softball starts. And in 4 months, I have the opportunity to get stronger, to get faster, to push myself. I've already came this far, but I'm not done yet.
That's just, you're an inspiration, Michaela. You really are. And for a multitude of reasons. I mean, you had such a great high school career, all the accolades that you got there. And, you know, I know you were highly recruited by Coach Aaron and Coach Sarah. What's it like? What's it going to be like not having those two around?
I mean, losing people that have recruited you and you knew and you really love their coaching style, that's going to be difficult. But now I have an opportunity to see a different coach and to learn his benefits, and because each coach brings different benefits and different views of the game and different ideas. And I have the opportunity to get to know him and get to use what he likes and get to use his view of the game and help it benefit me.
What do you, I mean, the last year has been obviously so much. How has it changed you as a person?
So for me, there's been a few, I haven't let myself, there's been times I've wanted to let my accident bring me down and like cry and break down and give up. And I decided not to let myself do that. And to me, there's a few things that I took away from my accident, and that no one should take the little things for granted, like walking, eating, having memories. Like, those are all gifts. Those are daily gifts that we're all given. And when they get taken away, that's hard. And those are things that you overlook. And that you should always believe in yourself, no matter what others think or what the odds are against you. Like my mom said, like, the human will is a powerful thing, and you can overcome anything, and miracles do happen all the time, and you should never give up. And I know for me, there was one time I broke down, and it was when the softball team, we had our team photos last year, and that was hard. It was the first time I put my uniform on after my accident, and putting it on wasn't hard. Like, taking the photos, that wasn't hard. But when I had to go back to the locker room and take it off, that was hard. And that's when I had a realization that as quick as I take off this uniform, that's as quick as this game was taken away from me. And that's the seconds, the minutes, that's how fast my accident was. And that's how quick everything was ripped away from me. Everything I worked my whole life for was taken away. And that was the last time I let myself think that this might be the last time I put on my uniform. And that was a hard day. And I chose not to let my other teammates see me cry. So I made it out to my car, and then I broke down in my car. And then I had to pick myself up. I had to dust myself off, and I had to get back out there, and I had to put in work.
Well, you have put in a lot of work. I know, I think it was right around your anniversary that you had talked about, Sam being such a, literally carrying you at times over the last year. And then have you got back that 30 pounds of muscle?
Almost.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I know. At one point I was like about 100 pounds. So I'm a little bit heavier than that now, which is good. Well,
I wasn't asking you weight. I was just, your Instagram post, you said, look, I'm 30 pounds lighter, muscle loss. I got to get it back. So that's never ask a girl her weight. I know that. If there's one thing you want to tell people with your message, because I think you have a chance, Michaela, to become an inspirational speaker. I really do, because of your accident. And your recovery, which is amazing. But if there's one thing you could talk to people right now, besides, the walking and things like that, what would it be?
You never know the power that you have until it's challenged. And if you believe in yourself, you can do anything. And you just have to put in work, and you gotta be the first one there, the last one to leave, and work through all the obstacles and be the hardest working one out there. Because like in a darkest hour, one little light will change everything. And I know for me, the cards and letters and encouragement that I got from people, that changed my life. That on my darkest days, I would go read those messages and read the cards that I got, and those lifted me up. And if you just look for when life gets hard, just look for one light and work hard. Just put in the time, and if you believe in yourself, you'll get there.
That's a great message, I think, to end on. Happy anniversary. What are we, 2 years into your marriage now?
Almost.
Almost two next year?
2 years. It'll be 3 in next July. Okay,
so, all right. That's the only thing you really have to remember is your wedding anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so you're back at school. You're going to be on the softball field. This spring, fans are going to be able to watch you in action along with the entire Saints softball team. But, it is a pleasure, and it's been an honor. I know we've been trying to talk about this for a while, but I am so humbled to chat with you, and it's been something and remarkable to watch your recovery. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Do you love to look at photos of Montana, from animals to landscapes and more? Are you looking for a place to get your senior pictures or family portraits done? Are you a business owner looking to upgrade the decor in your offices? Well, look no further than Mark LaRoe Photography. Mark has been shooting beautiful photos all across the Treasure State, from rodeos to portraits, and would love to work with you. Visit marklaroephotography.com to see many masterpieces of his work, then give him a call to schedule your own photo shoot. Or to purchase one of his fantastic pieces, stop by Spirit of the Big Sky Gallery on Custer in Helena. marklaroephotography.com.
New vehicles keep coming, and Capital Collision Center keeps earning certifications to repair them. They're Helena's newest GM-certified facility. No matter the make or year, they repair your car to manufacturer's standards and requirements, maintaining its safety and value. Montana state law says it's your vehicle, and it's your choice where you have it repaired. Choose Capital Collision Center, certified in GM, Subaru, and Nissan, and Helena's only shop certified in Honda, Acura, and Ford. When you value safety, go to Capital Collision Center on Euclid.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender. Everyone knows about Dinner's Done Right and the convenience of the cook and carry cuisines. It's so easy to just stop by and you have something for dinner that night. But there's also one more thing you need to know about. Dinner's Done Right Grab and Go Salad Bar. Yes, I said salad bar. Always the freshest ingredients, along with a daily soup and nacho bar too. So the next time you are in a rush or you just want to eat healthy, stop by Dinner's Done Right for the soup, salad, and nacho bar. For monthly menus and more info, it's dinnersdoneright.com. All right, man, I appreciate you joining me again. The last time we talked, it was the middle of the summer. You had just come off a national high school all-around title. What you been doing this summer?
Man, I've just been rodeoing, going to as many rodeos as I can, and then now just going to school and same thing, going every single rodeo I can.
You just got your first pro rodeo under your belt down last week at the Nile. How'd that go?
I was 84 points. I ended up one hole out of the money, but it was a great first experience. It was pretty awesome to go to my first pro rodeo.
And especially in your hometown or home state, which is always a great thing too, right?
You bet.
Hey, I saw a great thing from Heath Ford on Facebook, and they were loading in the horses, and you called him, and I don't know if you were nervous or not, but you guys prayed together. How important was that before that first ride?
You know, it's always been important to me just to thank the Lord for the opportunity He's given me, and just ask Him to keep me safe during the ride. And Heath has been a big help in my spiritual walk, and he's the one who taught me how to ride bareback horses. So if he's not there, I always give him a call to have him pray with me, and just gets that mojo going.
I thought it was just it was a very I don't want to say impressive, I'd say moving little thing that I saw on Facebook. So appreciate you sharing that with us. Sam Petersen
problem.
Joining us here, Jason Walker Show. All right, you got the Northern Rodeo Finals coming up this weekend, Thursday through Saturday in Kalispell. You enter in 4th place in the bareback. What's it going to take to overtake the guys like Bryce and Will and Caleb?
Man, I just got to do what I do best and go out there and perform, and hopefully I'll draw the right horses in order to let me do that.
Those are some pretty good riders. Yeah, I mean, Bryce and Will and Caleb have had a heck of a year. Like you, I mean, you guys made a lot of money on the NRA circuit this final. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, and I didn't go to very many NRA rodeos, but the ones I did go to, I capitalized on the opportunity. So I'm excited to go into the finals here.
You do enter in 4th, like I said. Do you know your draw the first night?
I don't.
Okay.
I'd imagine we'll know when I show up there.
Gotcha. What do you like riding about in Kalispell at Majestic Valley? Because it's a great arena. What do you like the most about being up in there?
One of my first indoor rodeos was up there in Majestic, getting on mini bulls. So that's always been a cool place to go perform, go ride. So it's pretty cool having the NRA finals there.
Who you been traveling with?
Mostly just my parents.
Okay. Because you're still just a kid. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, I guess so.
People treat you different now, Sam, than they used to after winning the high school all-around finals?
I wouldn't say so. No, not really.
Okay. You're still a pretty humble dude, down to earth. When I saw you in July at the Last Chance Stampede, they honored you a couple of nights. What was that like, hearing that crowd cheering for you?
You know, it was pretty cool to have an opportunity to go like that, step out in front of your hometown. And I'm just excited for this coming year that I'll be able to enter the Last Chance Stampede and be able to compete in my hometown.
Which is always a cool thing. Hey, a few years ago, Sam, and I wanted to ask you about this before I forgot, but the the high school rodeo clubs didn't have a lot of, let's say, rough stock of guys. Now we've got some really good ones that have come out. You, the Nordstroms, and there's more. Spur and Ty Owens are in there too. What's that say about the strength of quality of roughies around this area?
You know, I think I was about 6th grade, they started doing, Joe and Lacey DeMers, they started doing mini buckers. So they're bucking miniature ponies, saddle broncs, barebacks. And the kids that were interested in it, they started doing that, and it just kind of blossomed from there. And it's grown us into the bareback riders and saddle bronc riders and whatnot that we are. So those kids that are from Helena, they had the opportunity to go do something like that, and it's improved our numbers and it's improved the quality of bareback and saddle bronc riders.
I completely agree with you. I mean, it seemed like it was Kevin Rosinski, and then there was a big gap, and then all of a sudden now there's a whole bunch of you guys, which is great to see. I mean, let's not forget the timed event stuff is cool. You do both ends of the arena. And our steel wrestlers from Helena, Colby, Logan, Timmy, all sitting on top, 1, 2, 3, heading into the finals. But it's nice to see both ends of the arena covered so well from Helena kids.
Yeah, it's great to see.
Man, I hope you have success up there in Kalispell. I know you're a busy dude. I'll let you get rolling, but appreciate the short time and our short notice time. And good luck this weekend. Let's talk next week after you win another title. How's that?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Thanks.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse?
All right, man. I appreciate you joining me again. The last time we talked